Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here on Sunday morning, Blackstone, Virginia, center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. Well, here I am, pumped up and ready to go on Sunday morning, and the house is asleep and the town is asleep and it's raining, and I'm pumped up and ready to go. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with me? So we've been watching, you know, there are 5 seasons of The Crown, and the last one came out, this one here, and so now we're watching all the others again, and so we're in the first season again and watching a movie that is metaphorically profound. It reveals itself to you as you watch it again, because then you kind of like see through the original form, the original perception. Oh, it's a story over there. And you begin to see through the story into a more profound discovery that the movie is about you, that the crown is about you. But we can be penetrated by this truth because we believe it's about a story, about other people. Other people are doing this. It's over there. I'm here. Yeah, I'm sitting on my sofa. It hasn't got anything to do with me. But this is the surface view. This is the superficial view, which is usually our original viewpoint, you know, because we look at it as being over there. On the screen, on the TV set. It's about other people. It's about history. It's about facts, you know. Not about me, you know. But a profound movie, a good movie, a great movie, is a metaphorical movie. And if you stay with it, if you don't judge it as being over there, it's entertaining, oh, it's good, it's about this and that and that, it's about history, it's about religion, or whatever. We come up with all these things it's about. Differently, psychological, we can analyze it psychologically, we can do all kinds of different ways of perceiving it, but it's always out there, over there, and I'm here, separated from it. But if you stay with it, and this is why, you know, when I watch something again, when I allow a movie to nag me, when I allow a movie to be a feeling that I can't let go of or won't let go of me, that feeling is saying, well, there's more here. There's deeper. You have to get the algae away. You have to get the separation away. So when you go into like a movie like The Crown, again, as I'm doing, suddenly it begins to have depth. It's kind of like going from a 2-dimensional flat movie to a 3D movie. Suddenly the movie has this great depth, like a glass-bottomed boat. Suddenly you see through the movie. You don't see the movie as something, as opaque over there. You begin to see through the movie. But what do you see through? Not to another over there. You see through to yourself as the movie. See, this is a change in fundamental awareness. Albert Loeb, really, in his book Creating Consciousness and his work, really opened this up to me, just as I'm describing opening up the crown as a metaphor, as a transparency, you see. So we are conditioned by our language, subject versus object. Now, subject as a noun, you know, I'm, it, you know, does something to another object. Subject, verb, object. That's 2 things, and they're separate. Boom, in time. So if subject does something to an object, you see, there's time there. It can happen real quick, or it can happen a long time, you see, but it's separate. The subject is, but this is a way of knowing, and we're conditioned into that. This is our modern mind. This is the scientific mind, where the scientist is separate from the experiment. And the experiment, you see, or the world, is governed by laws, but the scientist is outside of it. That's so he can look at it and fix it. The surgeon doesn't operate on his own body. The mechanic doesn't fix himself, he fixes the engine. So this is a very useful language, but it's a language. It's useful. But we have been conditioned to believe it's reality. That reality is over there and I'm here, separate from it. A viewer. So we're all viewers today. Media, movies, TV, slideshows, the whole phenomena of the screen has created the eternal viewer and the object viewed on a screen. So we're all sitting on a couch, drinking tea or beers, watching the world, you see. So this viewer, and we give it names like the people or the consumer or the viewer, or we take polls to see what the viewer thinks, you see. Well, it's an abstraction. There is no people. You ever see a people walking around? You only see individuals, and then you create a category, people, and then you think the people are real. So I'm just playing with this. But getting into this, how do you see through the movie? You see, how do you see the real crown? How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself in the movie? Suppose you're watching a movie and suddenly the movie turns into a mirror and you are the movie. You are the movie, and that's when the movie becomes transparent to you. And you see that I'm wearing the crown. I am Queen Elizabeth. I am the Prince, the Duke of Windsor. I am the Duke of whatever. All these characters, Margaret, Diane, all these characters. I am them, aware as them. Suddenly you see yourself as the movie. And that's when it suddenly begins to reveal yourself to yourself, you see, through the medium of the metaphor, of the art. So great art, not all art does it, but great art reveals ourselves to ourselves, our depths. And it breaks down the barrier set up by our conventional, useful language of I am here and it is there. And Avatar for me was the most fantastic movie because it mapped it out right there in metaphors. Just a sidetrack, when I took my 100-year-old mother to see 3D Avatar, and I asked her how she liked it, she says, oh, it was very nice. But where did they get all those tall blue actors from? She said the first movie I saw was Harold Lloyd. Harold Lloyd. The first movie I remember was Harold Lloyd hanging from a clock. And we're still hanging from a clock, from the clock of time that separates I from it, you see. So when you can penetrate, when a movie when you work with it, stay with it, you see it again and again. It reveals itself like a cotton ball being pulled apart. And you see yourself. The truth of oneness, of unity. And it breaks down the barrier created by our own useful language. And you become aware as. See the difference here? You're aware of the movie. It's over there. It's interesting. Oh, you get some insights. Get something to talk about. You know, you're excited. While you're in the movie, like if it's an action movie, it's like a roller coaster ride. But then you leave it and the movie's left in the movie theater and you go back into your everyday life of I and it. You see, you go back into my living movie. We don't see that our everyday world is our movie. It's a drama. It's a theater, you see. It's the same as the theater in the movie, except we think it's real. When we go into a movie, in order to enjoy the movie, we have to suspend the everyday movie. It's called to suspend disbelief. In other words, we have to suspend for our time in the movie the belief that the movie's not real. So we can enter into the movie as the movie. So when we're in a movie, it's a good one, you're aware as the movie. In the same way, when you have a dream, you're aware as the dream. So you're aware as, if somebody pokes you when you're in a movie and asks you for popcorn, you say, well, leave me alone, I'm watching a movie. That poke flips us back into the awareness of. So suddenly I'm aware of this guy here interrupting me, and I say, shut up. I don't have any more popcorn, leave me alone. And you want to go back to the movie. So we leave the I-it consciousness and become aware as consciousness while we're in the movie. But as soon as the movie's over, we're back into I-it. And now I got all these problems, and I got to get home early, and I got the boss, and I got this, and the kids are driving me crazy, and I'm in it, everything's in it, and I feel like a victim. And I got this, I'm back in my I-it movie. So we got two realities here. There's aware as reality and aware it reality. But we believe conditionally that the I-it reality is the real reality, and that the movie awareness as is fantasy. So we believe the movie is fantasy. It's not real. It's fantasy. Somebody's imagination, entertaining, you see. But while I'm in that, I'm awareness as. But then I drop that when I go back into the world, and I'm aware of the world as it. I'm back in my language. I'm back in the language-created world of subject versus object. I entitled this talk, Duty versus Nature. So let's pick it up right there. What is the duty? What is the nature? Well, duty is to obey. Duty is obedience to some authority, something greater. Duty to country, duty to family. Go to work. Duty to your family, duty to your marriage, duty to your children, duty to your job. Duty, obligation, obedience. Don't rebel. Don't fight. Be obedient. Do your duty. This is big, and particularly in Indian philosophy. Dharma. Dharma is duty. Jesus taught, be a servant. The duty of the servant. What's the duty of the servant? Is to serve others. So many of us, my wife obeys, she cooks fantastic meals, and she loves serving. That's her duty. She loves being a cook. She loves serving. Who doesn't do that? Cooks, particularly. When men, their duty is to fix things, fixing things around the house, fixing the car. It's his duty to fix the world that he lives in. It's the duty of the wife to serve in the family, to serve the kids. This is all duties all around us, But then the nature rebels. Well, I really don't. I'm so, why should I wash the dishes? He didn't do anything. You know, there's this rebellion against nature, me. What do I want to do? The Duke of Windsor and the crown gave up his duty to be king so he could marry the woman he loved. And the whole that he is a parallel figure of the thorn. And in other words, this is in the crown. You've got two positions. You've got the people, the family members, who give up their nature in order to be obedient to the crown. This historical, national, metaphorical ritual, this myth of the God-man, this myth of the monarch, who is divinely inspired by God, who is touched by God in the coronation and anointed with holy oil, and God's finger comes down and touches the crown of this human, this mere mortal, and transmutes that mere mortal into a God-man. This is the whole mythology of the crown, the God-man, the one who has no second. And everybody bows by duty to the one, you see. So this one is the hub of the national, of the nation, of the society, you know. It's this hub, this axis, this one human being anointed by God who is the center of this colony of humans that gives them identity, integration, purpose, and meaning, because they always look up to something greater than they are, you know. So this is the myth, you know. So the movie's about trying to perpetuate this myth in a modern world of I-its. So the I-it world, it's just a human being with a hunk of gold on their head, you know. What is that? How much does that cost? So this I-it world is trying to tear down the awareness as world of the God-man. You see. So anyway, this duty versus nature is going on in us. Whenever your boss tells you to do something and you feel anger, you know, well, it's not just, you know, it's not right, you know, that's nature. And then, but the duty comes, well, you're obedient to the company, you're obedient to the boss, or to the family, to the vows. You're obedient to your vows. How many times do we cringe and resist the vows? You know, oh man, I gotta get out of this relationship. You see, this conflict is going on all the time. And the crown is either gold or thorns. Which is it? It's a metaphor. The Duke of Windsor gave up wearing the crown, and yet he spent his whole life longing for the crown. I remember a movie I made, not a movie, I mean a book I read, The Man Without a Country. It was kind of a classic. I read it in classic comics. But it was around 1812, and this naval officer cursed the America. Damn the United States. Damn the United States. And his punishment was to be banned to a Navy ship for the rest of his life, so he would never set foot on the soil of America again. And so every time he would go to sea, and he would have a special room, and he would kind of like be like this special person, you know, this exile from America. Yet he wasn't able to leave. He was trapped in a limbo, you see. So the ship was going to go back to shore. They would transfer him to another ship going out. So he spent his life doing good on the ship. And when he died, his little room was just papered with the Constitution and with things from America. He loved his country so much, you see. So that was the Duke of Windsor. He loved the crown. He gave it up, but he loved it so. So it's always, he's angry and he's bitter and he's ridiculing the people in the crown, yet in his heart, he is torn, you see. So, and then the Queen Elizabeth, and so they're all torn. All the family members, they want to marry, they want to have their own careers, but the duty, you have to be dutiful and obey the tradition of the crown. The crown won't let you do that. Who is this crown? So Queen Elizabeth is kind of like a in between. You know, she's always trying to balance these two in her family, in her life, between nature and duty. This is a beautiful movie. But it's about us. Thanks for dropping in.